Hey guys, hope you are all well. Thank you guys for joining. Yes, I'm in a vest today. It's very hot. Came out of the shower. I'm in a Peloton vest. Yes, I brought a Peloton a few months ago. I haven't even been able to use it yet because of the hip. But it came with a free vest, and I was hot when I got out of the shower, and I was like, yeah, I'm bagging on a vest though. So yeah, there you go. But I thought I'd do the live stream because I've really just been kind of, spending the day taking a look and see if there's anything else we can find while we were just kind of patiently waiting for Bitcoin to just bloody make a move in it, because it's just kind of been going sideways for a while. And we were expecting some kind of explosive move to come out, and I still am, because it's just spiraling along at the moment. It's just kind of ticking along, and we're seeing it from a few coins, but at the same time we are also seeing quite a few other things happen within the market. And today what I decided to do was just kind of venture out and have a look and see if I could find anything on some like correlated charts. One of the charts being the DXY, right? Because for those of you that do not know, there seems to be a huge correlation between the DXY, the dollar, against crypto. So historically, whenever the DXY is dropping in value, there tends to be an alt season during those times. And, I spotted something very interesting, a pattern that's going on within that chart, which I'm going to get into in a second. And it just made me kind of realize what's really going on. Basically, whenever the DXY goes up, whenever the dollar gains value, crypto seems to go down. Whenever the dollar loses value, crypto seems to go up. And in the past few months, the DXY has just kind of been in a bit of a free fall, and we're kind of bouncing within certain levels at the moment, and it's holding a certain support level, which I'm hoping that it would actually break eventually, and which would cause an alt season, right? And it's coming at such a time where, again, things are just kind of lining up pretty perfectly. And I wanted to just kind of, show that to you guys, right? So obviously, before we do get into that, the best thing to have a look at is obviously we start off with Bitcoin. This is stuff that we already know, okay? And arguably, again, we kind of deep dived into Bitcoin in this morning's video. So if you haven't watched that, you should definitely go watch it. But first things first, this is what we've got here, right? Just to keep it ridiculously simple, all we've got right here is a backtest of a very important support level, right? We can see that right in here, it was a big level of resistance before we rejected it and then smashed through it, retested it as support, right? And then obviously that was a time when that was our bottom before we ended up going to make a brand new all-time high for Bitcoin. Okay, so as you can see, that was a big resistance level when we switched into support. Ever since we broke below it, it was an area which we called the range, right? We kept calling it the range. And again, we could not break through it there, we could not break through it there, and we could not break through it there. We eventually did break through it. And have we just made, so this is the first thing, right? Have we just done that? Have we just made a very similar thing right there where, we've just come back down in an aggressive move. Bitcoin came down in a very aggressive move and just backtested this area as support. Aggressive move, backtested this area as support, right? And it's an area where you want it to hold, because obviously it's holding, these vital areas of resistance as well. So that was the first thing that we saw. Then obviously in this morning's video, we did end up doing this. Now I showed you the RSI on the 4-hour time frame. We're currently looking at it on the daily time frame, and you can see that it is actually bouncing along our trend line right here as well. It did have yet another bounce. Okay, so it's holding there very strong. And then of course on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is heavily oversold as well. And whenever something is oversold, it tends to have a very big recovery bounce back up. That usually would mark the bottom. And you can kind of tell by looking over here. If we go to right here, that was that candle right there, which was around that $29,000 area. That marked the bottom before we ended up going up to 52K. Well, that also showed it being very oversold on the RSI. In fact, we have not come back to retest that level on the RSI ever since that day. That's the first time. And you can see how much further Bitcoin actually went below it. It went a lot further than it did right there. Okay. And we even go back right here and we go over to these levels here. This was when Bitcoin was very scary and it hit 28,500. That's the last time we hit it. Then we hit it at 29,000 and we've just hit it again. Okay. So On that standpoint, it's very optimistic because, you know, we have just showed that we were obviously oversold and we needed this to happen. The good thing is it wasn't one that was just drawn out for such a long time. It was more one that just kind of happened straight away, and we've just bounced back on it. And on top of that, like I said, we are showing a very bullish trend on this RSI too, right? And of course, if we do take this off and we take out our divergence indicator, we did see that there is a bullish divergence happening on here as well, which is all ideal stuff, right? All the stuff that you really want to be seeing. You want to be seeing bullish divergences. You want to be seeing that something is oversold because we've just had our bottom now and we're bouncing out of there. And of course, on top of all of that, we've held these important levels of support, right? And look, I'm not one that knows too much about Elliott wave theory and all of that stuff. I'm still kind of learning how to do all of it, but there's a few people that I watch on YouTube, and you know they are showing Elliott wave theories along with this Bitcoin correction, and it is also looking very bullish on their side as well. Some of you may not know what Elliott wave theory is. It's all to do with like ABC movements and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, etc. I can't get into it because I don't know too much about it. I'm still learning. That's more like very technical stuff. But even for them, it is looking really good, right? So what else do we have? Of course, the total altcoin market cap done the exact same thing. Okay, so if we go to the total altcoin market cap, if I firstly take off this Fibonacci retracement, you can see it does look very similar. It was previously resistance over here, turned into support before we went to make a new all-time high, broke below it, couldn't break back above it, couldn't break back above it, broken back above it, turned it into support. Exact same thing as what Bitcoin has done right there, right? And of course, for the total market cap of crypto as well, if we place a fib over it, that comes at exactly the 50% retracement as well. And that is where we were finding a lot of resistance. So even for that, it's looking really good. And another thing that I'm seeing on the total market cap is this recovery going on right here. Okay, it's actually grinding its way back pretty quickly. Okay, so not as quick as Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin is still kind of chilling down here, whereas a total market cap has had a bit more of a swifter recovery. So all of these are showing good signs that the bottom is potentially in. We haven't seen any other massive sell-offs, and in fact, we've seen quite a few recoveries within the market, which is exactly what you want to be seeing. Of course, those recoveries came with huge buy volume right after the sell volume. In fact, the buy volume was overtaking the sell volume. So, whenever we have a dip like this, a scary dip like we had the other day, we're now seeing all the signs that you want to see after a big dip comes in to show that the bottom is in. And not only that, to show that, cool, we can actually head higher now, right? So there's loads of stuff that you're seeing that can actually confirm that. Now, let me bring on the DXY, okay? So this right here is the DXY. And if we look at it from here, this is the weekly chart from it, right? So if we go over here, what you guys can see is the weekly chart of the DXY. And the last time we had an alt season was right in here. Right in there was when we had our last alt season, right? Back in 2017. And that is because the DXY was in a complete free fall, okay? And as you guys can see at the moment, the DXY has been free falling, but remember, this is the weekly chart. Look how long we have been in this area right here. So if I take all of this off and we zoom in a little bit, in regards to how long we've just kind of been ranging right here, let's go from this area right here, 50 days, so nearly 2 months. It's just kind of been chilling in that area, okay, which could also be the reason why we haven't seen huge price action come out of everything. It's kind of just been flat and sideways for crypto, and the reason for that is because so as the DXY, we haven't seen a DXY really have a free fall like it was previously, and we haven't seen the DXY really grind its way up, which is why nothing has really gone on into like a bear market like people are kind of are shouting for, right? So if we move over to the daily chart right here, what can we see from the daily chart, right? Well, if I zoom right in, as you guys can see, the DXY had a bit of a pop back up, okay? And during that pop back up, Bitcoin had a big pop down. Okay, so you can see things do definitely correlate. Okay, and that is the reason why we did have quite a big dip come in. But the main reason why I'm bringing this up is because the DXY looks very bearish. Cool. At the moment, we are holding this level of support right here. Okay, it's been in there ever since the beginning of the year. We have not managed to break through it. All right. Sorry, beginning of the year. This is the daily. Sorry, that's back in 2017. There we go. Okay, so we've been in here since the beginning of the year, and even if we go back there, back in 2017, cool. Okay, so we're still kind of, you know, trying to break those levels, but this looks really bearish to me. Okay, the reason why I say that is because this pattern that usually happens, right? It usually ends off with one last big move down. What you end up having, what you end up having is like an ABC correction down, which rolls back up to this area right here where you would see quite a lot of consolidation. Okay, and then it ends up making one last low. And if we take a look at the actual divergence as well, you guys can see right here that we do have a bearish divergence happening within the DXY. So, you know, things are not really looking great for the DXY right there. If we go to the weekly, I believe there was one big one on the weekly as well. So if we go all the way from here to there, you guys can see we are in a bearish divergence for the DXY. So the thing is, things are not looking great for the DXY. But the positive thing is that that's good for crypto because we want the DXY to fall. And the reason why this is such a huge, important support level for the DXY is because what happens after we break through that? We ain't got support until all the way down here. Okay. And that is basically where I am expecting alt season to really occur. Now, again, we are definitely going to keep an eye out on this. I will be bringing this into play quite a lot in my live streams because that is what I am expecting. A huge drop to happen from the DXY and then for there to be an alt season. We want the dollar to break. Sorry for any Americans in here, but that is what is look like is going to be happening. So it's just kind of a matter of waiting for it to end up doing that. I'm expecting the DXY to drop. It is looking very bearish. All of the indicators show that it's looking bearish. And at the end of the day, the last time, like I said, we had an alt season was when we had this massive drop in the DXY. So what we're basically hoping for is that to happen in here. Okay. And it's looking like it's very close. So then when you add everything together, like the total market cap, right? If we go back to it, how close were we to breaking an all-time high? Well, we were really close, okay? It was just there. And it's looking like it's had its big pullback, but we're going to be grinding our way up. Well, is it going to grind its way up and break its all-time high just in time as a DXY could fall over on itself and then go into and just keep dropping so there's an alt season? At the same time where Bitcoin can hopefully recover itself as well and finally break that 0.702 and go into new all-time highs, right? Well, I don't know. That's kind of the one thing that I am looking out for at the moment. It's looking very likely. There's a lot of things that are showing me that is going to happen, right? But then I thought, okay, cool. Let me go and have a look at some of these other coins that have been pumping lately. And one of the things that we did see was Algo. Someone even mentioned it in the Discord the other day. Was it the other day? It might have even been this morning. I think I mentioned it in my video this morning as well. So Algo, not only did it recover from that massive dip we had a few days ago, it's gone on to make new highs, right? Which to me was amazing. And obviously, of course, we had Solana as well. What was the significance with Algo, guys? Let's get it right up. In fact, before I get Algo back up, guys, can someone in the chat just tell me what is the most important retracement level? Okay, because everyone should know it by now. What retracement do I keep going on about? Do I keep banging on about that we need to get through in order for there to be a huge surge in the market? Okay, what did Solana do? What level did Solana break before it went into a huge alt season? Lance is first to say it. Yes, the 0.702. Well, what did Algo just do, guys? I'll zoom into it right there. It found resistance at the 0.702, dipped like the rest of the market, broke through the 702, off it went. Okay, so that is something that is beautiful to see. Okay, beautiful to see, because it's another thing that was battling the 0.702. In fact, it only just got there before the market decided to dip, found resistance there, dipped, immediately recovered, broke the 702, and off it went. If we go into the hourly chart right here, okay, we can see right there, clearly found a lot of resistance at that 0.702. If I zoom into it, there we go. A lot of resistance at that 702, dipped, came back, broke the 702, retested as support, off it went. Okay, so that is just how important it is to get through that 0.702. But I'm not just showing you how important the 0.702 is. I'm showing you that another coin has broken the 702 and has gone on to make new highs. So it is important to see that, because it's just another coin that's confirming that this market is still bullish. And once again, I will keep saying it. Moves like this do not happen in a bear market. Seriously, they just don't happen in a bear market. Look at the volume. Look at the volume. We haven't seen volume like that. If I could just make that a little bit more. Yeah, you can't. We haven't seen volume like that. And this is the daily time frame. Look at the volume. Where was the last time we saw volume like that come in from algo? Never. Look at it compared to since it was listed on Binance, okay, which was all the way back in July 2019. We have not seen volume like that come in. And you do not see that in a bear market. Move over to Sol. Made a new all-time high today. Surprise, surprise. Is having a tiny pullback. But again, you do not see moves like that in a bear market. And then lastly, I just wanted to show Luna again because this is consolidating, right? It recovered really well from that dip, okay? Really well from that dip. Right now it's consolidating. What I'm seeing with Luna is a decrease in volume, which is showing to me that, again, a big move will hopefully be coming out of Luna really, really soon, which is, again, yet another coin which is looking extremely. Look at all of you guys. 702, 702, 702, 7. Taught you well, exactly. But yeah, it's that. Don't worry if you chose band over algo. Honestly, I don't hold any algo either. I hold band. But what I'm saying is it's just another coin that's doing it. That's going to be following the leader like Solana. Algo, in my opinion, has just started, boy. It has just started. And we're going to see this rotation happen throughout the rest of the market. So I just thought it was important to show you guys that. And the last thing I wanted to show, which I forgot about, was, of course, the Bitcoin dominance, because it had its little rise up. This is the hourly candle, right? So it had its little rise back up, but we seem to be getting back down below there again, right? And if I show you how important this is, once again, look how close we are to breaking that level right there, which we made back in May, which would have been our high. So that level right there would have been our high that we set back in May. Well, we are very, very close to breaking that level. And what did I say, guys? Whenever we break that level, that is when you will see an alt season. So yet again, we have yet another chart which is moments away from breaking an important support level, which will always confirm that there's going to be an alt season. Because again, if we zoom out, guys, when was the last time we had alt season? We had alt season back in here. We had alt season also back in here, because there was 2 alt seasons back in 2017, 2018, right? That was the last time we had alt season. And again, we go back to this area right here. We saw coins surge from January into May. We did see coins surge until they had a massive dip in the market. What happened during that dip in the market? Well, the Bitcoin dominance rolled back up. Well, right now we're heading back to those lows, okay? And it's very close to cracking. So I'm keeping an eye out on the Bitcoin dominance as well. So as the Bitcoin dominance arrives at this level, we wait for it to break. This area has always historically confirmed alt season. As the DXY heads back into these levels right here, and if it breaks, that would also confirm alt season, and as that is what historically happened before, because we are waiting for these moments right here. And we can carry on seeing moves like algo happen where it's broken the 0.702 and is now made an explosive move. We could keep looking at the leader in Solana. Let's not forget that Luna is still a leader in the market, okay? People forget that as well. It's just been consolidating for a while. The longer the consolidation, the bigger the explosion. So I'm not even bothered about what Luna's doing at the moment either. I'm just letting that do its thing, because I know that that's going to explode as well. And of course, as mentioned in my video earlier today, guys, there's a lot of coins all around the market that are popping left, right, and center. Some of them we just don't really know too much about. I don't know about, but I log onto my Binance and I'm seeing random coins doing 70, 80, 90%, 100% moves. IDEX. I mean, for God's sake, I used to hold IDEX back in the day. Have you guys seen what IDEX has done? That's what it did. Look at that. It went from 6 cents, 6 to 98, 6 cents to $1. Okay, in 2 days. 2 days. That does not happen in a bear market. So again, those people calling for the alt season is over, bear market confirmed, bro. No, it's not. Okay, I'm not gonna get into one of those rants again, so don't worry about that, guys. But yeah, like I'm saying, what we're waiting for right now is the rotation. We had a much needed dip, a much needed correction in the market. The correction held very important levels of support. Okay, we also had that in the total market cap. We're seeing the DXY fall. We're seeing the Bitcoin dominance fall. We're seeing more leaders come out. We're seeing the leader reach the 4.236 Fibonacci extension, and then we're seeing random coins like IDEX and other ones making 200-300% moves. I mean, how much was that move actually? Let's have a look just for the fun of it, because it's good to see, right? From here to its top. Yeah. Yeah, that's mad. 1,445%. Jesus Christ. In 3 days. That would, so you just divide that by 3. You were looking at like maybe 450% a day. And it's right, because I was looking at my Binance and seeing IDEX in the top gainers making like 450% moves every day. I was like, what is going on? But yeah, I mean, there you go. So that is basically what I wanted to show you. There was another thing that I wanted to do, because there was so much data coming out that I was seeing on Twitter of charts showing that people are still accumulating Bitcoin like heavily while the dip was happening. A lot of the long-term holders and whales were still accumulating Bitcoin. So we're still seeing things like that happen as well. So I look at all of these things and I just take a step back and refresh my mind and say to myself, right, go back to the basics. This just happened, bullish. That just happened, bullish. This chart showing this, okay, historically alt season happened right there. It looks like it's just on the brink. That chart showing that, okay, historically alt season happened right there. That's just on the brink. You line everything up together, plus the stuff that has already gone on to massive alt seasons, right? Solana. And you're like, why are we panicking, man? We just had a dip. That's all it is. Yeah, it was a scary dip, but man, it's the crypto market, most volatile market in the world. It will happen over and over again. Not the first, definitely ain't going to be the last. Okay, but obviously it's not financial advice. I remain hugely optimistic in this market. And I do believe that we are still right there, just on the brink. I do still definitely believe that. And we've just got to kind of be patient with it. It's all about just being patient. I'm seeing more than enough here, to tell me that it's going to be there. We've just got to wait. It's as simple as that. We've just got to wait. But it is what it is. Thinking of a good rotation. If I had to choose algo, that's no big deal. We love the Tanner alt season ain't over on us. Yep, 100%. Yes, smash the like button, guys. Thank you very much. I'm not gonna go into that again. It was funny because I watched it back and I was laughing myself, but yeah, it definitely kept us on our toes. But you just got to look at it a few days later and realize, cool, it wasn't too bad, was it? It wasn't really that bad. Everything's basically nearly recovered what it did, where it dipped from. So when we're looking at it from that standpoint, it ain't really that much of a big deal. I mean, what's Bitcoin doing at the moment now? Because, it was just kind of spiraling along. It's still just there, Honestly, I'm not really going to say too much until we really get out of this range right here, right? I kind of want to see us back above 48K, because if we just get this right here, and we go across, we can see that, this was previously a big area of support for us, but we're currently under it. So, right now it's actually being identified as resistance. So we really need to kind of break back above these levels here. And if we do, we can see us heading back towards that 48 to 50K mark. And then hopefully we can go ahead and retest that 0.702. But yeah, it's just one of those things. September hasn't been a great start, but as people were saying before, historically it's always been like that. Hopefully moving forward we just have a better grind up. What I'm expecting right now is probably just some more consolidation until we see a big breakout. What I am also seeing is that a lot of coins do seem to be popping up and catching back up to the rest of the market, or going on a huge run. So we are seeing that in quite a few coins. But right now, in regards to Bitcoin, I'm not really expecting a lot. I'm probably expecting a lot of consolidation until we break back above 48K. If that can happen right now, thank you very much. If it doesn't want to happen right now, cool. Let's just chill out, consolidate for a bit, and then reevaluate everything again, probably next week. So yeah, that's basically going to cover it for today, guys. Like I said, it's not going to be a long stream. I just wanted to get through all of that pretty quickly. Because like I said, things look good, but information was there. I got it across pretty quickly. So, is what it is really. But hopefully you guys have been able to tell that it is looking really good, and things just require more patience, unfortunately. just got to wait a bit longer. That is the way the game goes. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys back in the Discord, and I'll get another video out to you guys tomorrow morning. Hopefully we get some price action happening for the end of this day, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Take it easy, people.